All right, welcome back, folks. So I just got the phone with the Native American gutterpunking traveler. He said he just needs like 5 minutes to get settled, and then we're gonna give him that time, and then we're gonna hit that redial button right there, and we're gonna start our interview with them. This was what was originally planned, and we luckily got to hear from a Canadian's perspective on their healthcare and their experience earlier as a stand-in because I wasn't. I was told that he was unavailable for our thing, but he is now available, and that's what we're gonna be doing. You know, and luckily that gives us time to set it all up because I've actually never done a Facebook video call interview on Twitch. So I'm actually fiddling with all that while we're waiting. We have a long list of questions for this gentleman. Um, where the I definitely like I was explaining with Dory. I definitely want to hear how his day went and how he got all caught up in whatever he got caught up with. And then we're gonna go back into his experience as a gutter punking traveler. So yeah, starting soon. Hopefully, anyways. They said they only needed a few moments. And I appreciate everybody for sticking around and hanging out.
Yellow. Still
Hello.
setting my little area to do this.
Yeah, you're good. I was just giving you a few moments.
So how long is this gonna be? Like, is this
Uh,
just gonna be like a?
Whatever you want, really. I had written a few questions, and but then like that all of today happened, and at first I was like, so funny enough, um, honest to God, I'm gonna be 100% real with you, and so and it means at first I just thought that you were nervous, and I was like, you know what, whatever. So I ended up doing an interview with my friend who is a stay-at-home mom in Canada, and we talked about Canada and all that. So I was so happy to get back to you. But when I was messaging, like when I realized it was really a crazy lady, and I was like, oh my god. So then I had to I was like screen recording to show you because I was like, this is actually like intense. So glad that you could actually hang out with me tonight. But I just really wanted to know like your life travels, and I have like just where your origins and identity came from and things like that.
Oh yeah. If you want to talk about
Yeah.
Chief, you want to talk about Chief. You don't want to talk about King Kilo, the native Mac. You want to talk about Chief. You want to talk about who I was before this amazing life change with
I want to know all
going from
about you because I saw your comment on Facebook. That's where I had found you, and you described
yeah.
yourself as a gutter punk traveler, and I was like, that I never heard of that. And
Oh no, there's plenty of gutter punks. I mean, like, so there's two types of gutter punks that you have. You have home bums, which are just local, vagrants that don't do nothing, they smoke crack, drink alcohol, or whatever it is they do. And then you have hobos. You have traveling kids. And I was a traveling kid. I'm not gonna call myself a hobo because hobos technically just ride freight train. I did a lot of hitchhiking too. Like for the start and the middle, I did a lot of freight train riding, but then toward like the end of the middle and like the later years, I became a full-fledged hitchhiker, and then I just started taking buses everywhere because it was just like, you could ride Greyhound from one state to another state and then just hitchhike around that fucking state and then decide what you want to do from there. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I did a little bit of everything as I traveled. I even did some cross country shit where I got lost in the desert once out by Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I found out an interesting fact. They say that peyote doesn't grow in the deserts in New Mexico, but it does. I found it. I found it. And if it wasn't for that little funky cactus, I probably would have never made it back to the highway. But yeah,
Wow.
it was like you remember that scene from Beavis and Butthead?
I hadn't seen much of Beavis in my head. I don't know what you're talking about. like
You've
I've
never
seen
watched
like
Beavis
one
and
or two
Butthead Do
episodes.
America?
Like
No,
I
no, I'm talking about the movie. Do
oh
America.
no, I don't I don't watch movies.
Watch Beavis and Butthead Do America, and you will thank me later. It is
Violin.
fucking hilarious. Yeah.
But what about
So,
like when you were on the trains? You said that you had
oh,
like
I had so many funky fucking experiences on the trains. It's ridiculous. Like it fucking I seen some shit that I probably shouldn't have seen, and like I'm not gonna say the exact state where it happened, but I watched some fucking dudes jump off from like, okay, so like where the boxcar door is, and then like you have the inside of the car, and then like it's nighttime and the doors open, but these two dudes like fucking ninja black ops some shit, they swing in through the door from the fucking top of the roof of the car, and they fuck up one of my friends really bad, and they basically stomped his dog to death, and then they threw him under the car while the
oh
train's in
man.
motion. And the only reason why I made it out of there is because I had the common sense to keep my fucking mouth shut. Because I knew that the moment they would have flicked the lighter on my side of the train car, I don't have nothing on me at this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna risk. zipping my backpack in the dark to try to reach for my machete or my hatchet or anything. Like, it's that point where it's like, okay, silence means life.
Is that like
And
the scariest thing that's happened to you while traveling?
no, 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 that's nothing. Like I've had paranormal experiences. Like there was a time when I was going through Colorado. I was leaving Denver, and I actually jumped off the train right after like the experience. Like the train slowed down going through a town enough to where it was like I can hop off and I'm not going to get hurt seriously. Um, I was in the cut. I was in the middle of the train cars. There's a little space between there, and this I remember I had my eyes shut and I wasn't napping, but when you're relaxing your eyes. So I was, relaxing my eyes, I have my eyes shut, and then I open them and there's this dude in like old attire. Like I'm guessing like 30s, 40s, you know what I mean? Like he's not dressed like somebody from this time period. Like he's dressed like, you know what I mean? Like a vagabond or something, however you want to talk, however you want to say it. uh
A traveler?
yeah, yeah, basically just an old timey train hopper. And he waved at me and then he fell between the cars. And then I didn't know what that meant. And I just like that fucked me up. And then when I hopped off the train, I remember I walked. It took me about a day and a half to walk back to that spot where that happened, and there was nothing there. So it was like, okay, well, obviously nobody fell because if somebody fell, there'd be blood everywhere, and like it's
It's
pretty gruesome when train accidents happen. I don't recommend hitchhiking or freight hopping to anybody that's watching the interview because it's just yikes. It's
yeah,
not a it's not a good lifestyle.
it's so
I'm very
dangerous.
lucky. I'm very lucky to be here, and I'm quite honored to be on this interview.
Yeah, as soon as I saw your comment and how you expressed that like there really are like paranormal things and that you've seen a lot of different things as as a traveler and that you by freight like as freight as soon as I saw that I was like I would love to hear his life story and like how he has lived because you know everybody else all the other comments on that video was all just like really shallow and stuff and you were like hey this is ain't nothing to what I've seen and I was like I need to know so
This is point fame points for me as well. I'm working to get my TikTok fame back. I was at 10.5K followers and I was actually on my way to go to California. And I chose to hitchhike travel. I was going to document my journey to Los Angeles on by my TikTok, uploads. And then I got banned out of fucking nowhere by some idiot fucking dudes. So it was like
hey Astro with the rain
it sucked.
Astro
It sucked. It did. It
oh
sucked big
what
time.
didn't you thank you so much for the subscription. All right, you guys are just in time. I was able to meet up with I don't even think you've told us a name to call you.
Um, well, they used to call me Chief, Gutter Punk Chief, the native
Gutter
the
punking.
native Gutter Punk, and then I had to switch it up. I'm not Chief anymore. Now I'm King Kilo the Mac. As you can see, the all the studs on the shirt and the studs on the tie and the pin pad. I'm now a player. I'm not a chump gutter punk anymore. I'm actually living life quite well now. So
That's amazing.
it's a lot different now.
So you were just telling the viewers some of the scary things that you've encountered as a traveler, all the different ways. Like, was there ever a time where you were like, "What did I get into?" Like,
I I woke up in a shallow grave. south of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Not New Mexico, excuse me, Las Vegas, Nevada.
What? You woke up
I
in the
woke up,
desert in a shallow grave.
yeah, and
Oh
nothing
my
but my
god.
boxers. I don't know, yeah, like I remember standing up for this chick, and we were not far from there's a fuck ton of flies in my house. It's annoying as hell. But so there's like this gutter punk chick that was really good friends with my cousin was getting like stomped on and kicked by her boyfriend and her boyfriend's buddy. I guess he was like bisexual or whatever and was trying to break up with her to get with him and be with him. And she wasn't going to just let him go. So they decided to just try to stomp her out. And normally, lingo for gutter punks is mind your own business. You don't go out of your way. You don't get up in anybody else's business because bad things happen when you're a gutter punk and you put your nose where it doesn't belong.
Yeah, you gotta be
So,
careful with what like you where you go and when you go to these different places. Like,
so I've always been a stand-up guy. You know what I mean? Like on the street of Denver and anywhere else, anybody heard my name, it was always like, "Hey, Chief's in town." And then like all the crazy stuff that was going on would subside. You wouldn't hear about people getting killed, or you wouldn't hear about fights and things happening. Like things would calm down when I was in a place. Like I was like a mediator wherever I went. Like if I seen something I didn't like, I'd speak on it, and then I made it known. We're like, well, go ahead, do something that I don't like. If I hear about it, then I'm gonna come find you. That's the mentality I had. So at first I'm thinking, well, it's none of my business. But then, homegirl starts to spit blood up. So it's like, all right, well, they're going to end up killing this chick if they don't stop stomping on her. And I felt like just walking away, honestly. Like, I should just get up and leave. This is none of my business. But then again, it's like, you're a couple guys, and this is a girl. This is a woman laying on the
yeah.
fucking ground here, spitting blood, choking blood. So it's like, all right, I have no choice. So I get up. I have a little chain with a padlock on the end of it. I run over. I clock dude in the side of the head, right in his temple. I rang his bell pretty good. He's on the ground holding his head, trying to get his recollection. And then, I'm going at the other dude now. I'm hitting the other dude. I'm whipping the fucking shit out of him with my padlock. Now, I had a chain that didn't have links in it that were welded. They were just open cut links. So, thing about those kind of chains, you swing them so many times, the links will begin to bend apart. So the fucking padlock goes flying. So now all I have is my fists. All right, I can rock and sock them, robot. I'm in the street. Me and dude are going for it. We're squaring off, and then I remember a flash of light and coming to on the ground. And then these dudes are loading me up in the back of their gutter punk traveling van. And then I come to in the desert, and I've got dry blood all over me. And
You
I'm
probably got some organs missing, sir. Jeez.
uh I might actually be missing my pancreas because of some shit like that. But the what happened was I woke up in the desert and it was like, okay. And I scared the fuck out of this old couple. Like this old couple pulls over and they must not have, realized like this guy's just in his boxers on the side of the highway, barefoot, walking along the road. And they pulled over and the guy's like, what are you doing? And then he realizes that, oh, this guy's bloody. This guy's bloody. He's all fucked up. What the hell? So they take me into town, get into Las Vegas. I get dropped off at a hospital. I get fixed up. I got the two motherfuckers that did that to me. Found out that that chick, I don't know, they said she disappeared off the streets of Las Vegas. So, but yeah, I fucked those dudes up. I gave those dudes a good beat down.
Wow.
And then there was another situation where me and my cousin, I used to be a tagger as long as alongside being a gutter punk, I did tag banging. I was a part of a group, actually founding member, namesake, and first generation leader. I started a group called the Night Wolves Crew, and we were just a native tagger crew that would go around. And me and Roadkill, my cousin, his name was Wyatt Walking Out, but everybody called him Roadkill. He's gone now. He got murdered in San Diego a few years ago. MS-13 got him, lit him on fire, shot him in the head, and threw him off the cliff in the ocean side. So I'm not a big fan of them.
Wow, I'm so
And
sorry to hear.
he was one of the founding members for NWC. And me and him, we traveled a lot together. There's quite a few stories that I would have to have him by me to be able to just be like, yeah, that really happened. Like, are you familiar with the Pacific Coast Highway in
Yeah,
California?
yeah.
It goes from Malibu up to Ventura.
Hmm.
We walked that. It took
What?
about 7 days.
Oh my.
That's not including the day it took to get from Venice to fucking Malibu.
That's
We did
why.
that with
Why did you do that?
life, man. Life is about experience, man.
You
It's
just wanted to
about
see what's out
growing.
there?
Yeah, I mean, people fucking backpack Europe and people backpack
Yeah.
Asia. Why the fuck can't I back? Why can't I backpack? You know what I mean? Like, so I did it. You know what I mean? From the age of 16 to the age of 34. I'm 35, and I mean 34 to 35 seems like a pretty good change. You
Yeah.
know, going from a gutter punk to a playboy gangster pimp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was like the most fun place that you've traveled to?
Ah, the funnest place, my favorite
Yeah.
place.
Your
Wow.
favorite place.
Let's see here. That's a really good fucking question. Um,
You can name a few,
I'd have to
but
say, I'd have to say Denver.
Denver?
Denver, yeah, Denver, Colorado was fucking lit.
What'd you do in
Denver,
Denver?
Colorado, fucking smoke. I remember back when weed was still prohibited and illegal. And then I remember when they opened up the medical dispensaries, and then a couple years down the road, the recreational dispensaries opened up. And I got a sister that lives out in Golden, Colorado. So like every once in a while, I'll go visit her and her daughters. I'll hang out there. But it's different now. Now I'm like I said, I'm pimping, so I don't want to have the wrong image in front of my nieces.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I pretty much cut my sister out now, but she used to take me to like industrial dance clubs where there'd be goths dancing to fucking techno, and she used to take me to nightclubs where you'd see like juggalos and all kinds of crazy shit. And like, my sister really, really showed me a lot. I'm gonna pack a bowl real quick.
Yeah, yeah. You're good. I thought you would say like Vegas or
I mean, Vegas is cool, but it's just I mean, I got issues with Denver too right now, but with Vegas, like I got like this race thing going on. This lady was talking mad shit to me about being a dirty Indian and being homeless and not having nothing, and then um I called her down. I match energy. That's why they call me chief on the street. I used to match energy. You treat me as how I perceive you and how I treat you. So
yeah.
if you be a jerk off to me, I'm gonna be a jerk off right back. If you're cool and you treat me good, then you're gonna get the nice chief. You're gonna get the friendly chief. You're gonna get the chief with like, hey, I got some fire in a bowl. Let's pack a bowl and smoke. Let's get blazed.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
true.
mean? You're not gonna get bloody knuckles chief where I'm chasing you down the fucking road and people are wondering why there's this big 6'4" Indian chasing this person down. But there I am at full sprint. All you hear is my shoes hitting the ground, thud, thud, thud. You know what I mean? But a lot's changed. These hands ain't about. These hands ain't for swinging smileys or getting in fights no more. These hands are for rolling nice metal, silver, sterling. You know what I mean? Montana silver, looking good. Just like the studded. I bought this specifically for the interview. I don't know if anybody can see the studs up in it, but it's studded so it matches my studded out
Yeah.
shirt. Actually, the whole shit right here.
Wow.
Las Vegas, baby. If you live in Florida or you live in Las Vegas, go shop at Versini. This is the go shop at Versini. You won't regret it. Trust me.
Is there a particular like region that is like easier to travel through than others?
Well, before before hitchhiking and freight train riding got a bad stigma, I would say the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, like Oregon, Washington, um, Colorado is a really good spot to hitchhike, and then North Dakota and South Dakota. But in the wintertime, you don't want to hitchhike through North Dakota and South Dakota in the summer because people will let you walk and die of a heat stroke. But oddly enough, they'll pull over and pick you up so you don't fucking freeze to death. So, and then I'm from here, I'm native
Yeah.
to North Dakota.
All right. I actually, I know I have some friends, in one of the Dakotas. I think it's North Dakota. They sell meat like door to door, and so they kind of they say that there's long travel routes of all out there, like countryside.
That's true. I just saw some shit about meat on TikTok and I don't even want to eat fucking I don't even want to eat processed meat anymore. Like I literally just want to eat like if I can't shoot the fucker out of the sky, out of the field, or out the water, or I can't fish for it, I'm not gonna eat it because it's just all
Even
this fucking
then,
crazy
everything's
talk
all
about.
polluted too. It's awful. This is,
Well, I mean, like, have you ever watched the movie Soylent Green?
I've I have not watched what Soil and Green.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
fucked off movie from the 1980s about. Okay, so it's like the future, and the world is so overly populated that there's no more food left. Like, there's no more animals. There's no more fruit and vegetables. Like, we've literally like ate everything up. So as people are dying, they're grinding them down and making little green pills, and they feed the people the pills. You get so many pills a day, whatever.
oh
So
my
you take
goodness.
your pill and you drink your water, and it's supposed to provide all your nutrients and everything. And then there's like this conspiracy right now. And then there's actually a fucking video on TikTok of a rabbi talking about how the Israelites will take bread and they'll dip it in the blood of the children of their enemies and eat it. But then they don't eat people because it's wrong in Torah that cannibalism was wrong, so you're not supposed to eat other people. So what they do is they sell them to like fucking fast food companies and shit. So they make money. So like
Yeah, because it's not like
that made
kosher
me
or
think
halal
like,
or
well,
whatever.
there's how many people in the world, not to mention how many people in America. There's only so many cows and so many farms across the whole heartland. And then you think about it, it's like there's no fucking way that you could have enough cows to butcher to continuously feed fast food joints like McDonald's and Taco Bell, Taco John's, KFC, all these different fast food chains that are out there. Then that makes you think like, where the fuck is my meat coming from? So like now I'm at that point. Now I'm at that point where it's like, if I can't shoot it out of the fucking air, like I said,
Yeah,
if I can't shoot it out of the air,
there's only
I
3
can't hunt it.
chicken
I'm
companies in
not gonna eat it.
America, and Purdue has so much money they put towards their college, and now they're trying to say that they had a verbal contract with Amelia Earhart, and they're trying to take her plane because they found her plane underneath the water, but they can't touch it because the jurisdiction of who owns the plane is up in the air. Amelia's family wants it if the body's there. Then now Purdue is saying that they loaned her the plane and they didn't write a contract. It was just a verbal contract. And then the like National Geographic wants it, and also our Natural History Museum in DC was like, no, 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 this is going with us. So like, there's a whole lot of freaking hands reaching out, and it's always wild when you follow the money.
They fucking found Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, they found her plane. Yeah, she was only like a
Where'd they
freaking.
find?
She was real close to where she was supposed to check in. Um, and it was in like under the water. It looked like they crashed. They found it like a year and a half ago.
And
They
they
just
and she
can't
was
pull
in
it
it.
up. They don't know because they can't. Everybody's arguing on who owns it, so nobody can touch it without
So
permit.
chances are she's there though.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
The plane, they scanned it and they said it's the exact type of plane that like she was using, and it's right. Oh, it's like a quarter of like a mile off of where the her next check in was gonna be. She's supposed to land on that island. Yeah, but yeah. So is there any specific like routes or circuits that gutter punks tend to follow?
Um, I don't know. Like honestly, like travelers don't really have like a program that they work when they travel. Like you got guys that they might do a trek one time on one road. And then you've got guys that are known for going back and forth. Like I met an old guy, this old hippie dude up by uh okay, so when me and my cousin did the Pacific Highway route, we walked from Venice all the way to Ventura. It took like 7 days altogether. And then we went inland and we caught a ride on the 101 north. And then we ended up getting back on the Pacific Coast Highway. And we met this old dude by there's this town called Davenport. It's like super tiny, like uber tiny. Like there's like three little restaurants. There's a wine tasting place that sells food, and then there's a Mexican restaurant, and then there's like a cafe, and then they have a little gas station that's basically just a corner store. Like they sell sandwiches and like super expensive bottles of water, and it's like it's not cheap at all. Like you'll pay an arm and a leg going in that little store. But it's right on the coast. Like there's a beach right there, and then if you go north, there's an area called Scotts Creek, and it was a big state beach at one time, but the wind blew the sand away, so it's like it's super tiny, and the state basically abandoned it. Like there was a plaque on the board that was there that even said that the state no longer claims it as a state beach, and it's just basically somewhere where people go. And we seen a bunch of windsurfers there, but like the third day we were there, this old man walked up and asked to smoke weed with us. He heard us coughing. We had a fuck ton of weed. We got hooked up a couple days before that by another dude had a Bigfoot experience on his land. But what that old dude told us was he would go back and forth. That's what he did. He'd go back and forth. He'd go from L.A. He'd hitchhike all the way to Seattle, and then he'd take a break in Seattle for a week, and then he'd hitchhike all the way back down to California again, go back to LA, and then that's all he did, just back and forth.
Yeah, that
And he
coast.
said he'd been doing it for like 40 years. And then he was so old to the point where he had basically, I don't want to say he gave up on life, but I think like from what the way he told us, like he basically gave up on life because he didn't carry any gear, no backpack, no extra clothes, no change of socks, no extra boots. He didn't have no sleeping bag, no blankets. He didn't have no sweater or coat. He said that he would accompany things, or not accompany, he'd acquire things as he traveled. So, like, he's getting further north, it's starting to get cold.
So
He'll go
that's
get
when
a
he
coat.
starts gathering the sweaters, the jackets.
Yeah, and then as he goes south, he'll strip later, and then he'll leave things. So he might go through a
And what's
spot
the
a
main
second time to
thing? Sorry.
he'll want to go grab a backpack that he left or a coat or a sweater that's sealed in a bag somewhere, and he's able to go get it if he's passing through. And then like we met gutter punks where they were on their way. You know what I mean? Just to go down the road. Like we met a girl that was on her way home, and my cousin Roadkill fell in love with her. I forgot her name. I just remember her family was from Tennessee, and her gutter punk name was Vomit. Gutter punk Vomit. She was really pretty though. She could sing. She could play guitar. She knew how to fucking sing like professionally and shit. But she just rather travel. Her and Roadkill were together, and then he lost her. She was running across the road in Hollywood. He was feeling dope sick. And he still he blamed himself up to the point until he passed away for it. But he was getting mad at her because he was sick on heroin and he wanted her to go get it fixed. And the guy that fronted heroin to them in Hollywood was across the Walk of Fame. And now you'd think a tourist area people would respect speed limits and all that, but not in Hollywood. No. Hollywood, you could get hit by a car. You could get ran over by a car. Like bad things happen to people that don't follow sidewalks and signals in Hollywood. And then
Yeah.
people who even the people that
Yeah,
do
when I
follow the
went
signals.
when I went to California a couple years ago for TwitchCon, I met an older lady, and she called herself my Cali mom, and I loved her. It's one of the first things she taught me was you stand back on the curb. Like they don't even give a fuck about the curb. Like they'll go up on the curb and hit you like by not paying attention to driving. Like you can't be anywhere near the road.
Yep, yep,
You gotta
yep.
like be on the inside. Like cuz people will just
I've been this close twice. Like this fucking close two times. Like okay, so vomit got ran over and died. She was running across the road to try to get to. She was yelling for the dude, "Hey, roadkill's sick. I need some." A fucking car went over her. That car was doing like 70, 80, some shit like that down the Walk of Fame. So
wow.
like, she got mowed down. The From what the doctors told Roadkill, it was like that. Like she was dead like that. Like it was just like an instant. Like she didn't even have time to scream. It was just boom, ran over. I got hit once on Hollywood Boulevard, and I was all schwacked out of it on meth. Like I was fucking schwacked. Um, I got hit, and the fucking I don't know how the fuck it managed to hit me the way it hit. So like the front end, the front end light, the headlight, the bumper, and then part of the windshield. I think I smacked my head off the windshield or something because the windshield was shattered on one side, and then I ripped the mirror off, and then I must have like standing, spinning in a motion, rolling down the side of the fucking car like some fucking comedy movie. And then I managed to break off the back bumper and then the back light, and then I somehow broke one of the windows, and I walked off.
Sorry.
Like I fucking walked off. Like meth is crazy. Remember, do not use methamphetamine. Meth is a fucking scary drug.
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
bad.
um, I walk off, and I'm standing in front. Now, to anybody who's been to the Walk of Fame in Los Angeles and Hollywood, there's a McDonald's, and then you get a lot of homeless people and a lot of gutter punks and travelers. People hustle in front of that McDonald's all the time, and the McDonald's management doesn't care. Like the way they look at it, money's money. You know what I mean? Like if people are
Yeah,
coming
because
in
then
homeless, whatever, they're
they're
like,
gonna buy food.
yeah, yep, they're gonna buy something. So I walk over there and I shadow box for like a half hour, something like that, in one place until the adrenaline burned off my meth high, and then I fucking crashed. and then like immediately my body hurt, man. Like I felt everything out of nowhere. And I learned. I learned. You do not fucking walk directly across Hollywood Boulevard. And then when Roadkill heard about it, he told me about what happened to Vomit, and it was like, oh. And then he was like, he was all mad at me, like I got punched in the face over it. Yeah, gutter punks can be pretty adamant with their feelings.
Yeah,
Gutter punk
because they
might look you dead in the face and say, "I fucking love you," and then punch you in the mouth. Like that's how fucking gutter punks are. Might look you in the face and say, "Oh fuck, boy, fuck you, pussy," but in all sense, they mean, "Hey man, I love you, bro, or I love you, sis." Like gutter punk lifestyle is weird. Like it's so it's crazy. Like you might be best friends with somebody right now, but tomorrow you could absolutely hate their fucking guts, or they might try to kill you, or you might try to kill them, or like
Well,
it's just
what
it's a
drew
twisted life.
you? What made you drawn to the gutter punking traveling
I
ways?
fell into it. I fell into it. Uh, my older brother took my manhood when I was 15. My older brother took my manhood when I was 15, and yeah, I thought about it for like a year. Why do I kill him? Do I kill myself? Do I leave? What the fuck do I do? So for a whole year, I contemplated it. I contemplated taking him out. I contemplated taking myself out. I contemplated running away, and eventually I ran away when I turned 16. I left. I took off. I jumped. I jumped on the track, but I followed the track.
And where was the first place that that train took you? Do you remember?
I only rode it a little ways. I didn't take it very far. See, small town North Dakota. When you're in like the little small towns in the Midwest, most times you're on grainers. You're on grain cars. So those grain cars, those grain trains, they stop every other town. Sometimes every town they make a stop. They might speed up full speed for a little bit, and then they have to slow back down and stop again because they're picking up more cars, or they're filling up more cars that are already hooked up, and then they have to take this grain
Yeah,
so far down the road.
these are these shipping container trains. These are not like for anybody who's watching. Like he's not jumping on the passenger trains that today go very fast and they stop at certain stops. He was taking shipping trains that were moving things from. So they might it might be taking him to a place that isn't necessarily a town, and he's just going with the flow.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the scary thing about freight train riding. You never know where you're gonna end up. Like you have freight train riders like or gutter pump crazy, and hey Cheyenne, if you're out there and you happen to see this gutter punk interview, love you and I miss you, homegirl. Crazy was one of those travelers where um she would she would like she was young, so she would use like the way she looked, and she was a little hottie. So like she would be like promiscuous in a way where it's gonna make her come up. Let me act cute, let me act sexy, but in the same sense, I'm gonna get what I want from you, and I'm gonna take what I want from you, and there ain't a fucking thing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So she had like that kind of attitude. So she would walk up to rail workers and she'd flaunt a little bit of skin, throw some legs, do whatever, and then next thing you know, she's got the train schedule in her backpack. So, okay, I know where this train's going. I know where this train's going, and then she would go from there. And then she'd always have a schedule on her. And there are train riders that do pay. Like you have rich kids. A lot of people don't know how many gutter punks out there are actually liars. There's kids out there that come from rich families and have money,
But they're
but
just
choose to
playing.
travel.
Yeah, they're playing
Yeah, would
this.
rather walk around or hitchhike. I was one. My family didn't come into the money until a little later on, but once we came into it, I was in my like early 20s, and our family's been quite well taken care of since. I get about 5 to 7 thousand a month.
So, with regarding to the culture, like, is there like something that you would take that you take with you even away from the traveling lifestyles, or any part of the culture that like you bring with you regardless?
Don't fucking do it. That's
Yeah.
all I can say. It's not worth it. Like life is about experiences, but it's just with like especially right now, like gutter punking is dead. Like Donald Trump signed an executive order making homelessness illegal in the United States of America. Like you ain't gonna see gutter punks no more. You're not gonna see backpacking kids hopping off and on freight trains because they're they're picking up all the homeless. It doesn't matter the city where people are at. Like cities are getting cleaned out. People are being forced to either uh, conform to new policies or they go to prison or jail.
And well, a lot of prisons for profit prisons as well.
And it's terrifying because like homeless people are literally being picked up and being told like you're either gonna go and you're gonna change your life, you're gonna go get a job, you're gonna go to treatment, you're gonna do what you gotta do to become a homeowner or some kind of homeowner, or you can get locked up. That's the way that the United States is now. So, like Canada, there's still going to be gutter punk riders. There's plenty of gutter punk travelers up in Canada. Jesse Stewart and Sonia, and uh, there's a couple other good musicians that are from up north that are gutter punks that jump trains and hitchhike and travel about. But like for the most part, I don't think that life is worthy to live for anybody because it's just so fucking dangerous and it's so scary. Like you never know who you're gonna meet on the train. Like you don't. Like you could meet you can meet people like me. Like give me a second.
Okay.
You can meet people like me. You can meet people like me on the train. They might have a lunch box or they might have a special bag or a special pocket in their backpack. And inside that special box or special pocket in that backpack, they might have trade gear. Now, trade gear means trade gear is like patches.
Okay.
You might have patches. You might have
Bracelets and
keychains.
keychains. Yep.
You might have pins. You might have buttons. You might have there's all kinds of shit that a
I
traveling
make
kid might have in it.
keychains. I make keychains and I sell them as merch and stuff. I'll have to send you a keychain.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So like all I can say is like it's a wild lifestyle. Like it really is. Like you really don't know who you're gonna come across. Like here's actually I have a gutter punk hat from recently. This is usually how gutter punk kids look. Gutter punk kids usually have, and these are real metal spikes. Like they're screwed in. They have screws on the bottom of them, but most gutter punk kids will have gear like this. You'll come across gutter punks that'll have spike gear and be battle vested out. As you can see in the picture,
Yeah,
there was
I saw your battle vest. I saw it like and
so
actually
it's
your
like
bandana, yeah.
it's just it's a lifestyle in itself. It's really dangerous and it's sad because you get people that ride in groups and there might be an accident and usually 9 out of 10 they might have a sat phone or somebody has a cell phone and they can call BNSF police and be like, "Hey, stop the train. We're on engine. We're riding the train, engine, whatever." And then they'll give them that number, and then they have to call the conductor, and then the conductor will stop,
So
and
emergency
then
services can get to the
yeah,
emergency.
and then they bring in a personality, and then it takes like a day. Like they have to come in, they have to bag up whatever is left, whoever fell off or got ran over, and then they have to spray the tracks, and then they have to go through, and then they have to oil the tracks with a certain chemical so the tracks don't rust. And it's quite the process. And when things like happen, usually when you stop the train for that and you get caught, like you go to jail. Usually go to jail for a week or two. The most I spent was a month. I got caught up in Tennessee and I got a month, and then I got kicked out.
Um, is there
And
any
then
unspoken rules or codes like within the community?
no stealing. Do not fucking steal. Do not alert backpacks. Also, taking point. There's a thing called ground scores. If you like, okay, I have my weed pipe in my hand, but I leave it on the ground. Somebody can walk by and pick it up and say, "Oh, a ground score," because I don't have it on my person. And
Or in your
then
bag?
they can try to ground score backpacks, and that's usually when fighting comes into play. And most gutter punk travelers that you'll come across, they're usually carrying something. You might have somebody that might have a revolver, or they might have an actual pistol. So it's really dangerous. Don't steal nothing. Mind your P's and Q's. Have respect. Uh, you know what I mean? Like try to be friendly, but in the same sense, have that rugged persona because you know, usually friendly people get fucked with a lot on the rails. People get fucked with a lot when they travel. So it's just like it's one of those things where you just have to kind of be nice, but in the same sense, be the rugged roughneck, be the guy that's gonna go out of his way to be mad, be mean, because if you don't carry that persona, bad things happen. And then, so you meet chicks that might stab you or punch you in the face before they consider you a friend if you're a male, just because they have to assert that dominance over you to let you know, like, hey, look, motherfucker, you're not gonna do shit to me. And then you have guys like me where I'm dominant, but I'm dominant in a positive sense. Like, don't do nothing fucked around me. Don't let me hear anything fucked about you where I feel that I need to go out of my way and I need to come find you because I was always that person that would go count food. I'd fuck up whoever I had to fuck up, or I'd do what I had to do because you know every less scumbag on the streets better off. For everybody else,
Yeah.
I regret traveling. I wish I never lived that life.
Now
I could
you
have
you
been. I could
live
have.
back where you were born, like where you started? Did you travel like all over and then end up back where you were born, or did you settle
I always
somewhere
come home.
different?
I always come home. I'm home right now. I'm in North Dakota. I'm in ND right now.
Okay.
It's just I'm retired. Like I paid 112,000 for this house that I'm in. It's a tiny house. It's a tiny house trailer, but it's fucking bad and it's brand new. I got multiple fireplaces. I have a lofted room above my bedroom. I don't even use my bedroom. I'm gonna turn my bedroom into a closet so I can put all my clothes and I can put my shoe shelves and I can open up my living room and I can actually like open the energy flow. What do they call it? Feng shui.
Yeah, the feng shui of things and open it up. Yeah, I get that. So you always come home and you travel and like the Pacific Northwest is like the where we've mostly talked about. Like, what did you ever head to like Georgia or the Carolinas or even up
Nah,
near
I
where?
never got to go down to like the furthest south I've ever been was like Texas, Louisiana, and then I got to see my first swamp puppy, and I turned the fuck around and I said, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not. No."
Yeah, I've been to the
No,
bayou. Yeah, I like to travel. I've traveled places, not the way
I
you
mean,
travel, but
like if I had a truck or a vehicle, like yeah, let me go eat some crawdads down south, have some of that southern catfish, eat good. Backpacking? Uh-uh. Hell no.
well, that
No,
all side
I'm
is all
good.
the Appalachians, right? That's all that end.
Oh,
Cause
that's creepy too. I,
yeah,
I wanted to do the Appalachian Trail at one point in time, but then I've seen enough fucked off videos of people getting lost or like bad things happening, and then there's like, oh, there's
oh yeah,
like a
I've been in some creepy forests. I do some IRL
there's
streaming, and
some
I've gone some scary places.
there's some like serial killers, and then you have the whole feral people lore of Appalachia, and it's like I seen Wrong Turn,
Yeah, like
and
the
I
head of
and
West
I seen
Virginia.
and then I seen what's that other one? There's Wrong Turn. You remember Wrong Turn, right? Like the fucking psycho deformed guys running around killing people and eating them, whatever.
Yeah,
And then there was one that was like I think it was either in the 70s or 80s, and then they came out with one in early 2000.
it's like strangers where they like knock.
No, they were like mutants. They were like mutants out in the desert in like Nevada, but they were out like by some like missile range or some shit. Ah, fuck, what was the name of that movie? Um, it was a Wes Craven film.
Yeah, if you
Um,
know it in the chat, you can shout it out.
Wes Craven. There's something about looking from the hills, or uh, they were cannibal mutants. Fuck, what the hell was that name? I haven't seen that movie in fucking forever either. The Hills Have Eyes. The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, yep. That was
That's a
about
fucked up
Connecticut,
movie.
right?
But like when you think about the feral people in Appalachia, it's like the hills have eyes and wrong turn vibes. Like there really are fucked off people out there. Like I mean, look at Ed
You
Gein.
said earlier that you had like a Bigfoot encounter. That's pretty spooky and Appalachian-y. Cause what's your experience with that?
So we were on our trek going north when we left Malibu and we were going north. We were supposed to go up to Seattle together, and then we were supposed to hitchhike back to North Dakota. Um, we uh we were hitchhiking on the 101 highway, and we were up by this town called Los Alamos. Yeah, Los Alamos, something like that. And the this guy named Parker, his first name was Parker. He pulled off and he picked us up, and he was like, "Yeah, I need some help." Da da da. And he's like, "Well, you guys ain't gonna try to kill me and rob me from my truck, are you?" And we told him, "No, we're travelers. Like, we don't do fuck shit like that." And then I basically told him to fuck off and keep going. I was like, "I don't know, man. You just kind of made a fucked off judgment about me, and you don't even know me yet. Like, hey, man, I'm the fucking chief. Like, you could take a flying fuck you. You're not gonna, you're not gonna judge me and my cousin. And like, my cousin Roadkill had I want to say it wasn't moderate autism, but he had issues.
hmm
So it's like my cousin was kind of he was innocent in a sense. So I had to look out for him. He'd wander off, he'd do his own thing. Like I mentioned earlier, he was a heroin addict and he did other things, but I'd look out for him. We when we were in the same city or the same state, we
Yeah,
found
you
out
would
that we
link
were
up.
both around. Yeah,
Got
we
you.
we yeah, we'd link up. He'd come find me or I'd go look for him. And we'd always meet, and then we'd camp out and watch each other. And then if we had a dispute and we didn't camp together, we would meet up during the day and we'd watch each other's back and hustle, so that way, so if he eats, I get to eat. If I eat, my cousin gets to eat. That's the relationship that I had with my cousin. We watched each other's back. If I had to reach into my fucking backpack and pull my machete or my knife, my little brother was right there pulling his machete or his knife, ready to go, ready to die.
It was like you guys against the world, kind of.
My cousin was everything to me. My little cousin was everything for me. Like, from the time we started traveling together when I was 20 and he was barely like 19, 18, we linked up the first time. Like, we went all over the fucking place together. We kicked it in Minneapolis. We kicked it up in St. Paul. We hung out in St. Cloud. We hung out in Fargo, North Dakota on the street, on Broadway. We smoked weed with some of the coolest people. We drank with some of the coolest people. We went all over the fucking place together. We looked out for each other. And fucking a couple times we passed girls around. He'd be with her for a week or a couple days, or whatever, and she'd end up over on my side of the tent, or she'd end up on my side of the camp. I'd kick it with her, and we stuck together. We watched each other's back, and then we protected people that traveled with us. This is how we usually travel. I had something, he had something. We kept our blade, we kept our machete. When we carried tools, we carried things like a stove and pots and pans, things for cooking, shelter, regardless if it was just a tarp or it was a tent. We were prepared. We went everywhere. So, we're making our way along the road and Parker picks us up and we go to Menards and we pick up some stuff for like some shelves, just some anybody who's been to Menards before. Uh, it's like a hardware place, hardware store. So we go in there and we buy some like snap together shelves, and then some different things that he needed, and then he took us to this place. Anybody from California or the West Coast that knows anything about Cool Hand Luke's, there's a steakhouse chain out there, Cool Hand Luke's, Left Hand Luke's, something like that. Yeah, Big Cowboy is their emblem. And then it's damn good food. It's damn good food. If you ever go back to California and you get a chance to go find that steakhouse, go do it.
I
You'll love it.
definitely
It's a
yeah.
roadhouse. It's like a roadhouse. But oh my god, the food is fucking exquisite. Like you'd be amazed. So we eat, and then he takes us back to his land, and he's got private land like off a dirt road. Like you literally have to go off to the side to get to where that land is. And then fucking it's crazier than shit. So we get out there. He's got a gate at the edge of his property. He has a gate where he has to like put a code in, and then his door opens up, and he pulls in, and then he's got this nice little house and garage, and then there's a hill behind his house, and then on top of that hill there's an indentation where he's digging, and he's got this. It's like he's laying that black tarp material that has a special machine. They use it to seal the bottom of ponds, and then you fill it with water, and then the water doesn't go anywhere; it just stays there. But at the time, he's still in development, so there's no water in it. So we're on the side of the pond development where there's like a little hill, the top, the crest of the hill, and then it goes down, and then the house is right there. So we're not very far from the house. Probably about 130 yards, 140, maybe 50 yards, something like that. And then on the other end of the pond, and it's a big development. So on the other end of the development, there's a tree line. I wake up with my phone. My phone said I turned my phone on to see what time it was when my cousin woke me up crying. It was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. My cousin's crying, and when a grown man's making sniffling noises and crying, there's a problem. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
So I wake up and he's hitting my foot. Chief, wake up. Chief, wake up. What? Roadkill, what? What do you want? I'm trying to sleep, man. I'm tired. I've been walking for like fucking couple weeks now. Like, I want to sleep. No, 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 no. Like, fucking Bigfoot's over there. Bigfoot's over there and he's watching us. Fuck you. Fuck you, I tell him. You're full of shit. look, dude, if you want to smoke some weed, the jar's in my backpack. He's like, no, 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 cuz Bigfoot, Bigfoot. I look out from under my sleeping bag, and sure as shit, clear as day in the full moonlight, motherfucking Bigfoot standing over there on the edge of the trees, kind of closer to the pond development than the tree line. And he's just standing there. You
And
could see this motherfucker's shape, the whole body, everything,
like how
standing
tall?
there
Because
looking
you're
at us.
big. You're like you said you're over 6 feet, right? So like
Yeah, I'm
if
like fucking 6'3", 6'4".
yeah. So like for Bigfoot that then compare because like I'm much shorter. So like what would you estimate like how tall he was? What do you think?
7.5, 8 foot, something like that. He was a big
Wow.
motherfucker. I know he made me intimidated because I wanted to start crying after my cousin pointed it out, and I realized he wasn't kidding. Like when I realized my cousin was telling the truth, it freaked me out to the point where it was like, oh fuck, he ain't lying, like
And this is
motherfucking
in
Bigfoot.
Washington,
No, this is in Northern California, up by
Northern California.
King City, Northern California on the 101.
Okay. Wow.
And then yeah, the next morning we did some work and he gave us it was awesome. He gave us two big ass glass pickle jars, like big, the big the dill, the
Yeah.
the Papa Dills, the big pickles. Yeah, he gave us two fucking big ass jars and a smaller glass jar, fucking stuffed. I mean stuffed with bud. And then the night before when we had our fucking experience, he had 4 pieces of Starburst soaking in a fucking bowl full of liquid LSD jelly. And then he gave that to us. And he rewrapped them in the wrappers. They were all slimy and gross. Like, and then he's just like, he said, just keep it in your pocket. He said, keep it in your pocket. Don't take it out of your pocket until you're ready to do it. Because if the sunlight touches it and you keep it in the sunlight, it'll kill the LSD. So, okay. Me and my cousin tripped balls a couple days after that when we were leaving Santa Cruz on the Pacific Coast Highway. Actually, really got a good experience too. Fucking some farmer woke us up with a shotgun at like 6 in the morning. He just fed his farm workers and sent them off to the field to start the day, and he had a bunch of leftovers. So he had all these platters just full of food that his wife made. There was like eggs. There was different kinds of eggs. You had huevos rancheros, like that's eggs made with salsa. You had um, over easy eggs where it's still yolky and you can bite into it and the yolk's all runny and yummy. He had biscuits and gravy. He had sausage and bacon. He had multiple fresh vegetables that were sliced up, like so you could eat it with your food. Like really hearty breakfast. And we tripped balls all night. Like we barely passed out when he woke us up. Like if you ever get a chance to take acid in Northern California, go out into the countryside or go along the coast where there's no homes and there's no light pollution and just look off into the sky. Lay back and look into the sky. You will not regret it. It is the ultimate experience. Anybody can trip dick on neon. Neon is awesome. Yeah, neon is fun. But if you really want to trip, there's only two ways to trip that are absolutely amazing: night tripping and nature tripping. And night tripping in nature because it's amazing. Like you get a sense of like uh how would I say it? Like connecting with Mother Earth, like literally holding hands with Mother Earth, being one and one with Mother Earth, and experiencing life, seeing the trees breathe and feeling the ground move underneath you as Mother Earth breathes. Like it's a reality check in itself. Like it's so fun. I actually had like an idea to turn my life into a movie. I met this guy named Mike Novak during one of my traveling experiences. Me and my she's my ex-wife now, but my wife Hattie was lost on the streets of Los Angeles for 18 fucking days, wandering LA, being homeless.
Wow.
And then she's epileptic, so she was just having seizures the entire fucking time. Go to the hospital, then get kicked out of the hospital. And then like she fucking off some dude. because he tried to rape her when she was coming out. She came out of a seizure to a fucking guy trying to pull her pants off, and like her pants coming off when she woke up. And then she had a knife stashed in the pocket of one of the pockets on her pants. She grabbed the knife, flipped it open, and fucking stabbed the dude to death, and then got away with it. Like didn't even go to jail, didn't go to court, nothing. Like there were so many witnesses in that part of Echo Park, and then it was on a main road where LA Metro ride. So there was people on the bus that saw it because the bus stopped. The bus driver stopped because the bus driver has to report shit when he sees stuff like that. He has to pull off and he has to help because,
Yeah.
in a sense, he's a responder because he's a city worker. He works for the city. So if he sees something happening, he has to pull off and he has to call it in, and then the police come, and then all the people in the area they come, and then everybody gives their little bit. And Echo Park is like gentrified, so it's not ghetto and hood like the movie Mi Vida Loca no more. It's all fucking coffee shops and high end restaurants and retail and like high end fucking barber shops and salons. Like it's nothing like the Echo Parque that it was back in the 80s and the 90s. And Mike was a small time movie producer, and then I think he quit. I was looking for him on Facebook the other day and I couldn't find him. But he wanted to come out with a movie for me called about how I left home and how I traveled my life, and there was supposed to be a character that portrays roadkill. There's supposed to be a character that portrays me, and we're just hitchhiking, we're traveling, and then certain parts of my life where I solo traveled, and I did a lot of that. The majority of my traveling was alone. Like me and Roadkill would hang out, and then there would be moments where I would take off on myself. So, all right, buddy, I'll see you. I gotta go. And he'd give me a hug, and I love you, cuz I'm gonna miss you. You be careful. I'll see you again. I pray that I see you again. And we'd find a smoke shop or a rock shop where we could find that desert sage, that really hard white buffalo sage, and burn sage, and we'd smudge each other off, and we'd pray over each other, and we'd share one last cigarette, have one final drink, and then, okay, buddy, I'm gone, and then I'd take off, and he'd go his way.
And you
I
guys
hear
would
him
just end
screaming.
up meeting up again, like in Denver or.
Yeah, yeah, it would happen all the time. I remember there was a time when I was in Salt Lake City for a couple days, and he popped up out of nowhere the third day, the day I was getting ready to hitchhike out to Vegas. He stopped me and was like, "Hey, cuz, what are you doing? Cousin, you hungry? Hey, I did pretty good. Look at how much I got." And he had like fucking 1,300 in his pocket. That was just what he had in his pocket. He had a bag in his backpack fucking full of money. And he was wearing a flat Mormon hat. So he was just walking around playing off that he was a homeless Mormon. Yeah, he made bank in Salt Lake City for the few times he hung out there. That's how he hitchhiked through the state too. The fucker would dress in a fucking suit, would wear a fucking Mormon tie and the whole fucking get up. And this kid would get around fucking Utah. No problem. No problem. This is Salt
Yeah.
Lake. Oh, I want to go over toward Grand Junction, Colorado. He'd get to Grand Junction, and he had a place where he had a duffel bag. He'd go out and he'd find his little duffel bag buried in the desert. He'd take it up, take off his suit and his tie, and then take off his hat,
Yeah.
take off his boots and everything.
I've heard that people would have stashes places, um, and where you just like somewhere where you would frequent, so you would always have like
Oh yeah,
people.
yeah. You find bags all the time. There's backpacks all over. It's the same thing with the railroads. There's camps. There's railroad camps everywhere. They just you don't hear about them. You get people that post up in abandos. There's old abandoned railroad property buildings that they don't use anymore that are fucking full of people. I remember like we jumped off at a place in Tennessee where like part of the building was closed off by fucking Chinese immigrants, and like they weren't playing no games. Like there was a couple of triad guys that were with them, and like if you went into that part of the building, like they would warn you only once, and then if you went in there a second time, you'd get fucked up because the homeboy they called him Skechers. He always wore Skechers for some reason. That was like the shoe of choice for him. It was something about comfort. So Skechers is like he goes in that part of the building we're not supposed to go, and he kicked the door open. Like he didn't knock, he didn't ask to go in. Like he went over and kicked the door open, and he had a little tire knocker. I don't know if anybody's ever been to a truck stop gas station where they sell the little metal bats and the little wood bats. Truckers use them. They hit their wheel, their tires, for knocking your tires to make sure that the air is level and equal throughout the tires. So when you get back on the highway, you don't blow out or nothing. And then
Was
supposed to
this in
have
like
like
Nashville? That train
uh
station?
I
Or
it was out by Tennessee. I just remember that. It was in Tennessee. We were like kind of close to the state line on the oh fuck, where was it? That's been so long. I did a lot of drugs back then. Uh I think it might have been by Nashville. Nashville, is that the place where like country music and blues is
yeah.
like really famous?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's
Philadelphia.
where we were by. We were over that way somewhere. It was like one of those like a storage area. Like, it had like lockers, and then it had areas where like, the train workers could hang out. Like there was a lounge and an old fridge and things, and then there was that wing that the Chinese people were in, and then the rest of the building was just gutter pumps. People waiting, and like the train would stop near there at night, but they didn't use the station. Like you knew the station was abandoned. Like it was full of dust. There's dust everywhere. Like you could you could lick the tip of your finger and wipe down so far before there was so much dust on your fingertip you couldn't wipe anymore. Like that's how thick the dust was in the place. And then like I think it was haunted. Like we would hear shit at night. And then like one
Like
of the Chinese ladies would like come through the building with like a type of incense. And then she would always say the ancestors. The thought she would say, "Oh, the ancestors, the ancestors." Go through the entire building with an incense stick, and then she'd go back into the area where they were, and nobody fucked with her. Like everybody knew, like if anything happened to any of them, like those triad dudes would just go through and kill everybody because like they fucked Skechers up pretty good. Like as big as he was, and as mean and tough, and as good of a fighter as he was, like they worked him the fuck over and stomped him pretty good. And then he walked in there. He didn't walk in there. He got thrown the fuck out. Like somebody opened the door and they both heaved him out and tossed him right out of the fucking room. And they said, next time you die.
wow.
Next time you dishonor us, you die. We warn you, but you keep coming and bothering us. We're not bothering you. Leave us alone. And yeah, that I remember it got cleared out. The local rail company cleared it out. They came in and like a lot of people got arrested. A lot of people just got kicked out. So like we were walking, like there was a group of us walking down a dirt road one way, and then there was a group of us walking around a dirt road the next direction. And like we met this one old man that lived not far from tracks that were used all the time, and he allowed us to stay in his farm for like almost 2 weeks, and every other day one of us would catch a ride. I was one of the last three that stayed there. And then that girl, she ended up just, I think she decided to stay. She never left. She just stayed there. There was one chick, they called her Skittles, I think is what her handle was. You got some weird fucking names. You get some weird crazy names for gutter punks. Like I met a kid who called himself Nobody.
So what would a typical day look like for you like on the road? Like where
Hustling, just hustling, trying to eat. You know what I mean? Trying to eat. That's all it was. Got to eat. Got to get water. Got to have. You want to drink beer. You want to smoke weed or do cocaine or smoke meth or cigarettes, whatever. You have to hustle. So that's always a hustle from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. You're pushing game, trying to make that money because your stomach's growling. You don't eat, you're gonna die. You don't drink water, you're gonna die. So it's like that's all it is just hustling. I mean, it's awesome. You get to see things most people don't get to see. You get to experience things you don't. Most people don't get to experience. I mean, like go on YouTube and look up freight train riders or gutter punk travelers, and you'll see videos where people are actually on the train recording themselves. I think there's a couple gutter punk travelers on fucking TikTok. I used to upload TikTok videos. I was at 10.5K followers, and then I was on my way to LA to get my account monetized because oh, people love me, dude. Everybody's seeing me. I have viewers from New York. And I have viewers from Europe and Asia and Africa. I have people from all over following me just because of my lifestyle. Quite a few videos with my cousin Roadkill. I lost all those on a phone a long time ago.
What role does like music and artwork and like protests play like in the gutter punk lifestyle?
Oh wow, wow. So like gutter punk is a revolutionary lifestyle. It's revolutionized. So like you have a lot of kids that do that. Like my boy Derek Stallard out of Colorado, he uh he would hitchhike. He actually came to North Dakota for the 2016 protest, uh, the Dakota Access Pipeline, the No DAPL protest
Mhm.
that happened on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation in 2016. If
Weren't women
anybody
like
remembers,
kidnapped from that? There's a lot of Native American women who were like taken after that protest.
yeah, a lot of guys too, a lot of men, fucking guys bigger than me that are still missing. There was a group of there was actually a group of teenagers from like southern Arizona, and then there was a group of teenagers from Pueblo in New Mexico, and then a group from Navajo Nation that went missing on their way home.
Wow. And what do you think
And
about
to
like
this
all the
day, they're still
missing
missing.
people? Like there's a lot of missing
Huh?
people in America. What do you think about all the missing people? And is there any credibility? Like have you ever seen like there's supposed to be like a lot of cave systems and a lot of underground literal like underground traveling and shipping of different things going on. Have you seen anything weird like that?
There's a there's a gutter punk legend in Denver, Colorado about the sewer system, the tunnels, the sewer system underneath the city of Denver is connected to the same system that's underneath the airport. And there's multiple tunnels that go out to that airport, but there's secret doors down there that go to places that probably shouldn't exist. And like I've been to the tunnels in Denver only twice. I went down there alone one time and almost got lost, and then I went down there with somebody a second time. And from what the gutter punks say, like there's a lot of weird shit going under Denver, and then you have all these conspiracies about Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, like the airport is pretty weird with their murals.
The entire layout of Denver is weird. Like if you look at downtown Denver on a fucking map, there's literally a fucking inverted star in the layout of the streets in downtown. Like the way the streets line up, it's fucking weird. And then like there's a lot of like there's a lot of underground goth clubs where like you have to know a certain knot or you have to have a password. Like it's like the old
Speakeasies?
1950s or the
Like the
1930s
speakeasies?
speakeasy where they open the
Yeah.
door and what's the password? And you give them the password, then they close the door, and then you hear all the locks turning inside the door, and then they open it up. And you go in and you go to the bar, but like there's a lot of dark things happening in our country. Like there's a lot of people in the comments that'll probably call me crazy, but I believe that there's multiple vampire covens in operation throughout the United States. There's quite a few stemming out of the Jewish community, and then there's quite a few stemming out of different communities in Los Angeles, New Orleans, Denver, Albuquerque. You hear a lot of stories like, and it's always the homeless people are the ones that go missing. You always hear about the homeless lady or the homeless guy that was wandering down the alley alone, and then he's just gone. Nobody knows where the fuck they went or what happened to them.
Yeah, I know in a small town in Rhode Island, the police had gotten in trouble and there was an investigation because in a 10-year time period, like 15 homeless people were accidentally ran over and dragged, and lots of different violence, things of them getting injured during a scuffle, then they were driven around instead of taken to the hospital, and they had died under suspicious circumstances. But when you say like vampire covens, do you mean like in the traditional sense, or do you think that they like drain the blood and
Yeah.
then it like through like needles and whatnot?
Um, I don't know about that. Like I think that like there are clubs
Or
and
is it
there
like
are groups out
rituals?
there.
Is it like
Yeah, like ritual, spiritual aspect, but then in a sense there is bloodletting. Like there was a place me and my cousin would recycle during the day in West Los Angeles. You have Pico Boulevard, and then you have this road called Robertson Boulevard, and then like Pico is like an east-west street, and then Robertson is a north-south street. So
so they
like
intersect?
yeah, so like you could take Robertson Boulevard all the way down to Venice, and then you're just like a few blocks from where my camp on La Cienega and Venice is, and then I could go up La Cienega and get on Robertson by Pico. I could take Pico from La Cienega and Pico down to Robertson. Now on Robertson and Pico, there's a Starbucks. I don't know if it's like that anymore. It's been a while since I've been there, but it's a majority Middle Eastern, like Iraqi, Palestinian, like you know what I mean. You see a lot of
Okay.
Muslim women, the head covers. You see a lot of men in traditional garb, and then like the restaurants and stores, everything's all Middle Eastern. You see a lot of Arabic writing everywhere. So now you have that Starbucks on the corner, and then if you go in the alley where the alley starts, it's like one of those alleys where you have to turn into it, and then it goes in, and then you have to turn up and then drive up the alley the way it's set up. Now, when you pull into the alley on the left side of the alley, you'll see steps and like a porch, and it's not really wide. It's just enough to where there's like a wooden railing. You walk up, and then you get in, and then there's the door, and then there's like this overhang that sticks out from the wall, and then there's fucking blood bags and bodily fluid bags that hang off the back of that door.
Okay.
So when you look up, that's what you see. And then like I made him a bet one night. I bet him an 8 ball of dope. We were really good hustlers. So like we smoked a lot. We were always smoking dope and smoking weed and drinking. And then like in my off time, whenever I wasn't recycling or doing anything, I was like a I guess you'd call me a little foot freak. I'd go around and do my thing, and then I'd break dance and pop lock. So like
Okay. So you were like a busker. You would hustle all sorts of different ways, but including through like art and music in that way.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I would like dance. I would break dance and pop lock. But so one night, you know, I tell them, well, hey, I got a couple hundred and I get an 8 ball. I don't know what you have for money, but I know that you just bought an 8 ball. So I bet you an 8 ball. Let's go hang out by that fucking place in the alley. And it's already like 11. It's almost midnight, and it takes about an hour to walk La Cienega and Venice to up to that spot because you have to go all the way up La Cienega and then you have to walk a few blocks to get to Robertson. So like
So
I
so you're saying that there's like multiple different communities that have these weird things with blood because you had mentioned Jews, you had mentioned, and then that this was like an Iraqi area. So like this is a
Yeah,
very so covens are very diverse then. They're
yeah,
not like
yeah,
the how Hollywood portrays it. It's more secretive than that. It's
yeah,
more it
yeah.
could be
No, it was
anybody.
fucking creepy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's fucking scary. So like, we're posted up. We're posted up in that alley, and I break a little piece off of mine, and he breaks a little piece off his. We start smoking. You know, we both use torches, so you know we're taking our hits and we're blowing out our dragon clouds, and then it hits about midnight, and then people start showing up, limos, fucking limos, like limousines, nice fucking limousines, and like these didn't look like ghetto superstars, like these look like fucking elite people, like dressed like this, like nice clothes. And like I don't know if anybody sees, but I have rocks on my shirt. I have rocks on my shirt and my tie. Like
Yeah,
there
no,
was
you can
people
see it.
dressed like this. People wearing suits, ties, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, 5 pieces, like dressed to kill, dressed to impress. Like, and you know, every time they would go up, they had a knock. And that was the knock that we
Yeah, that
heard
was
every single
interesting.
time somebody went to that door. And they would knock before they rang the bell. Nobody ever rang the bell first. Everybody always knocked that knock, and then they would ring the bell, and they'd hold the bell down for a few seconds, and then the door would open up, and this guy in a black suit would come out and come on in, and they'd walk in there, and that guy looked like the security guards on fucking Blade. If anybody remembers the old vampire movie Blade from
Yeah,
back in
I
the
remember
90s.
Blade. Yeah.
So like they were dressed like the security guards in that movie. The guys would come out and they'd let him in, and then we saw it looked like a homeless shelter bus pulled up, and a couple of these guys dressed in suits get off, and then they take a dozen what looked like hobos, but it looked like they look like the not so all there, like the crazies that wander the street talking themselves and like eating things they're not supposed to and drinking things they're not supposed to, like like really fucking out there. There's no hope for them. Nobody, if they disappear, nobody gives a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they ended up on a poster and they would never because nobody cares about them. Like people like that. A dozen of them get off the bus, and then they take them inside. They go inside, and the guards have a completely different knock. And then Roadkill's like, we should leave. I think we're witnessing something that we shouldn't be witnessing. We're seeing something
And
that
this
we
is
shouldn't be
in
seeing.
Denver? No, no. You said this is California,
West,
right?
yeah, West Los Angeles.
West Los Angeles. Wow. And so they everybody had different knocks, so they knew who was coming in, and so there was a complete track of like who's where.
Yeah, and then like we went back a couple days later, and then we noticed that they put fucking cameras up. So that was the last time we went through there at night. The only time we go through is during the day, and we only went through once a week because there was an Asian guy. I think he was like Korean or Singaporean something. He didn't speak any English, but he would always leave out these fucking cases and cases and cases of Asian beer cans. They'd always be outside. We'd go up by his garage and there'd just be boxes and boxes of cans. And then he would leave us a 12 pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon. So once a week we'd go through there and we'd get our 12 pack of Pabst and we'd split it. He'd get a 6 pack, I'd get a 6 pack, and then we'd split the cans down. He'd get half the cans and I'd get half the cans, and then that's how we'd hustle. That was one of our hustles. But yeah, we
It's
never
like a
did go through that
barter.
area at night anymore. I'd go down Pico and I'd go to Robertson and I'd go past Robertson, but I'd never hit that alley. I learned after that. I was like, fuck no, I'm avoiding that alley. And then it's like they talk about the elite up in Hollywood and Beverly Hills. Like we seen some shit up in Hollywood and Beverly Hills that we probably should have never seen. Like we were going by Chateau Marmont, and now like that part of Beverly Hills is supposed to be like private, like unless like you live in that neighborhood, like you can't get past the gate. Like, you have to. like live in that community to get past that gate
Yeah,
to
it's like
get
a
in there.
gated
Otherwise, like
private
you're
area.
not supposed to be in there. But like we had our ways, you know what I mean? And like we're not bothering nobody. We're just dumpster diving, you know what I mean? Like, you know, anybody should be happy that, you know, we're doing something to positively impact the environment, you know, and you take all the plastic bottles that you find out of the trash, and you take all the aluminum and you take all the glass and you recycle it, it's a good thing because one, it turns into money. Two, it changes. It's not basically a major impact on the carbon imprint that we have, the footprint that we have as human beings. But I mean, can you really blame a guy for trying?
Yeah. If everybody did it, it would be very helpful. Now,
Yeah. So
um, was that your only instance with the vampires? Was in West Hollywood, or did you see them up north, like in Oregon at all, or what was your experiences with Oregon?
um Chinatown. Chinatown in Seattle, Washington. There's a Chinese coven. And me and him both experienced it. We both seen it. They kept trying to get us to go into a restaurant saying that, well, we'll feed you. You just have to do dishes. You just have to wash dishes for an hour, but we'll feed you. We'll feed you whatever you want. And Roadkill is an Asian food enthusiast. He's a fat ass. It's one of those kids where like it doesn't matter the type of Asian food. If you see a fucking buffet with that Asian food sign on there, could be Filipino, could be Lao, it could be Thai, could be Singaporean, it could be Taiwanese, it could be Korean, it could be Japanese, it could be Chinese, it could be any Asian you
Yeah.
can name or Polynesian food. That fat fuck is gonna go hustle and try to go in there and eat. Now the problem with it though is that when Roadkill had a third sense, he had one of those not a third sense of the sixth sense.
Sixth Sense.
My cousin could feel things. Autistic people are very empathetic. Like we live with empathy every day, so it's like when we feel about something, like take that into consideration
Yeah,
because
your
like
senses and
if
your
an autistic
awareness.
person's not going to go in somewhere and they're being coaxed to be brought in and they don't want to be brought in, clearly there's something wrong with the picture.
Yeah. I know when I went to California, there were whole cities in Southern California in the desert of just Asian communities and stuff like that.
It's like that up north too. You got like Angel Camp. Angel Camp is like an old mining town, and it's like historic. And then the way it's set up is like if you get caught spitting anywhere on the street, anywhere in Angel Camp, it doesn't matter if you're on the road out in the community or you're in town or you're on the old boardwalk or whatever. It's like a $500 fine and a week in jail just to
Wow.
spit one time.
Wow.
We were there for like a day. Met some dude that was dying. I had cancer at the time, so like this chick that I hooked up with named Jennifer, she wanted me to have a heart to heart with her boyfriend, and then like he gave me some like cool little action figurines that he had, and then I ended up losing those. There was this game back in the '90s called Oddworld, and it was like aliens, and you had to like you were this dude, and you like just walked around, and I forgot. You're a kid, you don't know how to play games. It's just sitting there
Yeah.
playing until you die, or whatever, trying to figure out how to get past that point. He
Um
gave me a couple of characters from that and a couple of Lego guys, but yeah, he ended up passing away shortly after.
well, I'm sorry to hear that. It seems like you've met a lot of amazing people along your travels. Um
I met Nikki Six.
really? What does freedom mean to you?
Living life to your own expectations of happiness.
That's a good answer. um And has your views on society or authority changed since you started traveling?
Well, I'm not a gutter punk anymore. All I got is the memory. But what I can say is that the law is only good to the point where the law is a good thing for itself and it's no longer a good thing for the people. There's a point where law and order isn't law and order, it's tyranny and dictatorship. And right now, what's going on in America, we're on the verge of a fucking civil war. We're on the
Yes.
verge of a fucking revolution. And they came out with a movie about this last year. Like, they came out with a fucking movie last year in Hollywood called Civil War. And everybody knows Hollywood. Hollywood puts out some stuff to actually kind of
Make
prepare us.
yeah, putting it in front of us and stuff. I get that. So what is something that you think people misunderstand about the gutter punking lifestyle?
There's a lot of misunderstandings. Some people, some people travel because they want to. Some people are out there because that's what they want to do. And there's some people, it's all they got. You got some people that just decided, fuck it, I'm gonna live or I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna die regardless. So let me go have a good time. And I've got plenty of friends that drank until the wheels fell off. I got plenty of friends that got high until they overdosed and passed away. I've got plenty of friends that rode train until they fell off and died.
Speaking, circling back to the train thing, I know in the original comment that I had met you, you had talked about a particular instance where you and a few other travelers had discovered like it was like a family that had passed away and like with their pet and that you were the only one who didn't get in trouble because those people were looting those bodies and completely desecrating that area, and you expressed a want to go back there and that you hadn't been back there in a while and to pay your respects. And I was wondering if you could walk me through that experience. If you could. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to.
There's a right way to live in this world, and there's a wrong way to live in this world. And you got to respect the living just as much as you respect the dead. Everybody deserves a decent burial, whether it's a Christian burial or a spiritual religious burial or just getting buried to be buried. Everybody deserves that last right. Everybody has to have that respect. Maybe what I did was what made the difference between them haunting that train car or them finding peace. And when we popped that lock, I wasn't expecting to find that. I wasn't expecting to find a guy and his girlfriend and their fucking pets, piles of fur and bones, and them and their bibs laying in the corner, and they had those backpacks. And when I seen that, the first thing that the troop I was with wanted to do is start going through backpacks and start digging around. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if
Break
that's
up the
how you
peace.
guys are, like, we should say, like, I have an accident, I pass away, or something happens to me and I get hurt and I can't do anything for myself. Are you gonna fucking do that to my bag? Are you gonna take what I got in my backpack? And it's like I said, live right or don't live right. But when it comes to things like that, like there's It's only one way to go about it, and that's doing the right thing. You have to. It's your responsibility. You know those IDs that were found. Somebody's relatives went home.
Yeah.
Somebody's son, somebody's daughter. You know, somebody's brother, sister, grandson, granddaughter, uncle, auntie. You know, niece, nephew. Somebody's fucking relative went home, and that's all there is to it. That's how I looked at it. I wouldn't want to be lost.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate, and I'm sure everybody here listening really appreciates that you did the right thing and you helped those families get closure and peace. And that's not something that anybody would ever want to not know. And it's in with regards to all the missing people in America. I know we talked about that touched upon a little bit, but there's just so many different ways that someone could just disappear, and it's hard.
Happens every day. Happens every day. Sometimes it's at random. Me and Hattie, my ex-wife, were hustling about a week before she went missing in LA, and I found her. Actually, got a picture of her in the hospital. I think I still have it on my phone. I didn't delete it earlier, but I have a picture of me sitting with Hattie. You know, she's still just as beautiful as she was when we first got married. Uh, I have a picture where the day that I found her, day 18, when I went into the hospital, and you know, the security guard thought I was a fucking trafficker. He thought I was there to try to kidnap her and take her, and because the Mike and Heather had their phone numbers on the and their names on the missing poster. Wasn't my name and my phone number. So, you know,
Yeah, so they were
as
like, "Who
you
is
know, the
this guy?"
security guard was ready to like slam me and take me to the ground because he thought I was gonna try to do something. He was shocked when she backflipped off the bed and gave me a big hug. And she wrapped her arms and legs around me like a spider monkey and held on for dear life. Um, we were outside this restaurant called the Urban Masala. It's on Hollywood Boulevard, the Walk of Fame, and really good Indian food. I recommend it for anybody that goes to Hollywood. If you like eating halal or you like eating Indian food, it's good. You'll love it. The lamb masala is quite amazing. They have really good jasmine rice. The mango lassis are perfect, and they're really good service. They're awesome people there. They fed me and my ex-wife, and they fed me plenty of times on solo journeys and when I was with roadkill traveling. We were standing outside eating. We were getting ready to eat, hustling, you know, trying to make our money. And this guy and his wife come walking down the boulevard. And the guy goes, "Well, hey, are you hungry?" Because, you know, the wife comments, "Hey, they look hungry. We should feed them. We should do something good. God would like it if we feed somebody that's less fortunate. So let's feed them, honey." The guy comes up and says, "Hey, you guys hungry?" Said, "Yeah, we're actually, you know, we've got about $50, but you know, we kind of want to be pigs. So we're trying to hustle up more." And he said, "Just keep your money. Don't worry about it." Me and my wife were very rich. And he goes inside with me, and Hattie comes in. Hattie's standing by the door because it's air conditioned inside the masala. So it's,
Yeah, and it's
you know,
California and it's muggy and it's hot.
so, you know,
Yeah.
we're trying to be nice and cool. And this fucking van pulls up, and these guys jump off and grab the wife and literally throw her in the van like a rag doll. Jump back in the van, slam the door, and skid off. And
Oh
then
my god.
the guy pays for the food real quick, and then he's running down the Hollywood Boulevard, like asking people if they saw where that van went. And then like I never did see him or that lady ever again. And then Hattie ended up disappearing for like 18 days, like a week after that.
Um, when you had found Hattie, was there did she end up explaining like what happened? Was she ended up taken, or because I know you said about how she had to
She had a
defend
seizure. She
herself.
wandered off. She was epileptic, so she had a seizure. She ended up wandering off. She lied to me when we left on the bus from Fargo to go that way. she said that she had saved up a couple months worth of pills because she wanted to experience LA with me because of how much I talked about it, how I talked about it.
Oh, so she's from North Dakota too.
I'm actually on the reservation she's from. I'm on the Spirit Lake reservation right now.
Oh wow.
So it's a scary life. I wouldn't recommend being a gutter punk to anybody. You know. Some of us choose it, some of us don't, but it's just with the times right now, it's better just to stay home. Find a job, go to school, do something positive. The traveling era of riding trains and hitchhiking in America is over. Donald Trump is Donald Trump is running the show now. Like you can't just do anything anymore. There's no travelers. There's no done. And those that are still traveling, living that lifestyle, may God bless them, protect them. May they find help to turn a better leaf and actually live a good life because it's just not worth it. I'm not used to being this emotional.
Well, we've touched upon a lot of heavy topics, so I really appreciate your candidness and your willingness to like talk about your experience. And I thank you. So being Native American, is there like do you think that that sort of like nomadic nature kind of correlated to what brought you into gutter punking?
There's a lot of native gutter punks actually. You'll meet a lot of native Grateful Dead family. You'll meet a lot of Native American Rainbow family members. Meet a lot of Native American juggalos that travel. You'll meet a lot of gutter punks, Native American gutter punks. It's just it's the feeling of embracing freedom.
And the
You have
ability to
to you have to
travel.
wake up and you have to go to work and you have to conform to this fucking system where you're literally working for pennies on the dollar and you're barely making your monthly rent and you're barely feeding yourself and your family and you're scraping by to survive and you're not building any fucking money up. You're literally just living to living. You're literally just existing to exist versus laying under the stars in a sleeping bag, laying on your back, looking up at the sky, seeing part of God's creation, knowing that you're alive and you're free and nothing holds you back in the world.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I appreciate that you're explaining how this lifestyle is not for everybody and we're not advocating for it. We're just here to learn and to hear out like your life experience. Um
Hell yeah, the life of Chief the Gutter Punk was fucking crazy. There was a lot of bad things. There was a lot of good things. It was all experiences in the end.
um what's the wildest or most memorable experience you've had on the road? And did you prefer the train or did you prefer buses? 'Cause I know you said that you traveled by bus a lot in the beginning.
Um, Hitchhiking and buses, it's easier to hustle. You have the ability to eat. You have the ability to drink. You can work game. You can do what you got to do to make your way. Riding the freight train, when you're on that train, you run out. You run out. I've known kids that sat on the train for 2, 3 days without water.
Yeah. Because once again you were traveling on the shipping train so that they don't have the stops that because like I've traveled by train but they were by like Amtrak, you know what I mean? So they have
Yeah.
scheduled stops. I mean, I remember when they announced over the intercom that they were having a stop in Cleveland, Ohio, so that the conductor could have a smoke break. And that's the whole reason we stopped in Cleveland. And that sort of thing that's not the way that the shipping ones were
And then
working.
you have the dining car.
Oh, I
Five
wasn't
dollars
fortunate
for
enough
a
to do
fucking
the
Minute Maid orange juice and $5 for a fucking
I
breakfast sandwich.
I was never lucky enough to be in one of those dining cars. I got one little seat amongst everybody else and stuff. I traveled. Actually, there were a lot of Mennonites on the train that I traveled on.
See, that's the thing. People say that you have to ride the dining car. That's the only way you can stay out and eat. That ain't true. You go in the dining car, you order your little $5 breakfast sandwich and your little $5 Minute Maid orange juice, and then your coffee, whatever. Get your food and just go back to your seat. That's what me and Roadkill did when we rode. Then me and L and me and Clouds, we both did that. I've had quite a few road dogs. I've had quite a few traveling partners.
Oh, so road dogs are travel partners. Did you ever travel with
Yeah,
animals at all, or just other people?
yeah. I've traveled with quite a few dogs. I've traveled with girls. I've traveled with guys.
Have you ever had a moment like while you were traveling that made you question the lifestyle or reaffirm it?
Uh, Watching my friend Lenny fall off a cliff in Oregon. He was trying to take a picture of like the front of his boots and then the edge of the cliff. And he was trying to lean forward to try to get the picture. And then like, I guess that was just God weeding through the field. He fucking leaned a little too far forward and then the ground gave underneath him and he fell. And then he went right into the ocean. And like, he lived, but he really paid a big price for that. Like he fucked himself up. He fucked his back up. He fucked his legs up. He's he's in a chair now. He went home. He's living back down south in Georgia.
So
Traveling
that
kids
leads
go
me to like,
everywhere.
how do you handle things like healthcare and legal issues while being like a traveler?
Some kids don't. Some kids they'll get in trouble. They'll get a ticket for fucking camping in the park, or they might do some crazy shit, and they just fucking leave. That sadly, that's about 80% of the travelers. A lot of them won't man up to what they've done. They'll they'll run, and then you've got 20% where they did what they had to do and they had no other choice, and they go to court. And that's the sad thing. A lot of them still go to prison. Like I had a homegirl named Lisa, and she fucking shot a guy because he was trying to kidnap her and rape her, and she had all the proof on her phone. And then they had his phone, and it had all the text messages on his phone. He was telling her that he was going to sell her for human trafficking, and that she was going to be a sex slave for so many years. And then when she was useless, they were just going to kill her and throw her in a dumpster. And then she took that serious because he'd been threatening her for like a year. So she just had all these messages archived. And then it came the time when he tried to pick her up, and she had a little 22 pistol like I have, and she fucking blew the dude away, shot him 5 times, and sent him on the helm. But he, and then like the taking care of yourself, I mean, it's just common sense. If you have enough common sense to feed yourself, you should have enough common sense to hustle to get hygiene. Like me and Roadkill, we would work, once a week we'd go to Venice Beach. We'd go to the shower spigots on one Venice Beach and we'd have soap and shampoo and we'd clean up. You know what I mean? Clean up, make ourselves smell good, put on our deodorant and, body spray, cologne, whatever, and then we'd go for a week again. And then, I think it was like my second year using methamphetamine, I lost myself, and then I lost like 4 years. So, I was addicted for like a good 5 years, from 23 to 27, almost 28, and then I left. And then we just did a bunch of random traveling between that time.
What's one item during your travels that you would never travel without? For obvious reasons, that makes sense. Is there any tips or tricks for staying safe or getting around besides the whole common sense? No, we touched upon it a little bit.
Um, Depending on where you are, you want to either sleep in a well lit area or you want to sleep off the side, out of sight, out of mind. But I mean, it all depends on where you're at. Like me, I've always tried to sleep out in the open. I've always tried to sleep on the street that had the lights and was well lit and well traveled, and there was always somebody there. So, people knew I was okay. People didn't fuck with me. And then, there's times where it's like, like I said, out of sight, out of mind. Out of
Yeah.
sight, out of mind. That means that, if the pigs can't see you and the local yuppies and the local gutter folk can't see you, you're fine. You're all right. But if you stand up, you're probably going to get robbed or something's going to happen to you. And then if you're a traveler, it's usually best to just keep moving. Like it's fine. Give yourself 24 hours or 48 hours, recuperate, rest your feet, rest your back, rest your legs. You pitch some moo, whatever, have some fun, get high, get a shot, but get back on the road. You don't ever want to stay in a spot too long because you start to grow roots. You don't want to grow roots. You want to keep moving when you're a traveler. Um, inquire about churches, services, places where you can get help, assistance, shelters where you can get food. You might be able to go in and sit down, or they might give you a to-go plate, however it goes. You might just get a sandwich or a Gatorade or a bottle of water, whatever. Um, stay away from hardcore drug users. Don't go around people that use meth and heroin. Don't hang out with people that use coke or crack. If you know that an area is bad, get the fuck out of there. I mean, you'll find the best food in that area, but in the same sense, when the sun goes down, you don't want to be there. You always want to try to stick it around downtown, hang out where the police station is, hang out where, the rich folk and people are. So if something happens, somebody can pull out their phone and either record what went down or they can fucking call and help. Um, common sense goes a long ways. It's better to need it, or it's better to have it and need it, and than it is to need it and not have it. So if you feel that you're going to need it at some point in time on your journey while you're at Walmart, picking out your hiking backpack and you're picking out your equipment, your tools and supplies, things that you're going to need, you better get it when you have that fucking thought. Because if you don't get it, you're going to regret it down the road. It could be something simple as a pocket knife that folds, or a knife that hangs off your belt loop, or a life straw, or a filtration system to drink water, or tablets for purifying water, or something herbal or something that you can eat like dry food. You always want to carry every little thing that you would think if you're going to need it when you're camping, you're probably going to need it if you're traveling. So
Yeah.
tent, tarps, multiple tarps. You're going to want to have a tarp that goes underneath your tent. You're going to want to have a tarp that's bigger than your tent that you can tuck underneath those two tarps. So that way your tent doesn't fucking flood out if it rains hardcore. You're gonna you're gonna want to have a stove and fuel, pots, pans. You're gonna want to have a dining set like plates, bowls, cups, forks, spoons, knives. You know what I mean? A thermos to carry hot water, a thermos to carry cold water. You're gonna want to carry a shower because you can carry camping shelter. It's just a black bag you throw out in the sun and leave it out there, and then it gets warm enough to where it doesn't scald, but it's hot enough to where it's like, ooh, that's warm. And then you know what I mean? Like basics, carry extra clothing, extra pair of pants, carry extra underwear. If you're a guy, you're definitely gonna want to carry underwear. Nobody likes to chafe between the thighs. That shit fucking sucks, especially when you start getting older. Socks, carry extra socks. Remember to take breaks, take off your shoes and socks, air your feet out every once in a while. You don't air your feet out, your feet are going to start to rot. If you don't have the best diet, that's not good. You start getting sores and cuts and tears on the skin on your feet, you ain't going to have them very much longer. And your feet are your basic form of transportation when you live the way I live. You have to take care of yourself. Take off your boots every few hours, air your feet out, rest them. Okay, you feel good? Put your shoes and socks back on. Get walking. Kick some more rocks.
So there's like a lot of awareness in terms of keeping yourself fit going on. Like how often is it that you see like boot rot and things of that nature when you are in the communities that's like stopping and traveling those.
Oh, being a dude who has a foot fetish for ladies and a shiny leg fetish, it's like something where like I just look, I notice. So like I can tell a person's life by just looking at how their feet look. Now, if they're all beat up and they're scary looking, and the nails are all fucked up and they're thick and cracked and they look fucking scary, that a person didn't take care of themselves properly. They didn't eat right. They're not eating right. They're just all they're concerned about is smoking rock or getting high or drinking or they're just too far gone to do anything for themselves anymore. So
So
it's
like
like,
looking at a person's feet is almost similar to like how well like this there's a saying of like don't look a gift horse in the mouth, which derives from like you can tell the health of a horse through their teeth. That is that like an indicator that's an indicator of like someone who is not taking care of like their well being.
it's just common sense. I mean, like I've met gutter girls that, oh my god, just the prettiest, most soft, smooth, cutest feet, didn't stink, smelled nice and sweet, kept their legs smooth and shiny and silky looking, and really took pride in how they looked, and like they had a good name. Everybody was after them. Everybody knew who they were. Everybody wanted them. And then you had gutter girls where it was like you really are a fucking gutter punk. Like you really do live the gutter punk lifestyle. Like, damn, bitch, you got some hooves. You know what I mean? And then
Were there
like,
like as hairy as Sasquatch?
oh my god, dude! Like I've met some chicks that were fucking crazy. Like I used to know this girl named Amber, and she was a girl that was homeless on the street of Hollywood, and then she went north, like way far north, and she had like a UFO experience in the fucking redwoods, and was like told like they did some kind of surgery to her up in the spaceship and told her she was like a third gender or some shit. And then they brought her back to the earth and then dropped her off in the redwoods. And then like she didn't have no pictures or anything to prove what happened, but like she was really out there when she came back. And she was one of the homegirls that knew what I was into. So like she would stop by and like stop by my tent sometimes at night and be like, "Hey, Chief, you want to hang out? You want to have some fun, get freaky, whatever, do your thing. Like, just smoke some weed with me, or do you got shots, or what do you have, or I just want some company. You can play with my feet, whatever." And then after that experience she had out in the redwoods, like that girl changed. Like I was jealous because like I'm Native American, so I don't grow leg hair like that. I don't grow body hair like that. Like I don't have I don't have like major chest hair and arm hair and body hair, and like I don't shave. Like every couple of weeks I shave, but my face doesn't really grow that quick. Like it usually takes about a month for I have to shave my face again. But like yeah, I don't grow facial hair like that. So you know what I mean? And then most men have hairy hands and hairy knuckles. I don't have hairy hands, I don't have hairy knuckles. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was kind of jealous of that chick because it was like I got teased and picked on for that shit in high school.
Um so you mentioned you live on the reservation now and stuff. Is there a particular time that you remember of um like any time that you guys ever had to like push back and you know reestablish your like authority in the area, or is this a strong area that has not had
Um,
the drama that I've seen around?
well, like the whole thing with Standing Rock was what happened in Standing Rock was the protest over a pipeline. Like where I live at now, I'm not from here. I'm not Spirit Lake, Dakota. I am Dakota. I'm just not from this res. My dad's from down south area called Sisseton, South Dakota, Lake Traverse, Sioux tribe. Um, I'm from Fort Berthold, MHA, Mandan, Hidatsa, Richter. Us in North Dakota, but it's like on the other side of the state, going over by like Williston and Minot, kind of north of Bismarck, and then like our res ain't far from like the Montana state line right there. Um,
I heard Montana's beautiful.
it is. It's dangerous though. It's a really scary place. Uh, like here, it's not really like that. Like you don't really have people that bother, but like this is one of them places where it's all country folk. So like we all have our rifles, shotguns. We all have our pistols. Like everybody's kind of armed. We all have that community sense where like we'll protect ourselves. And we'll look out for our neighbors. Like I don't really like my neighbors to the up the hill from me on one side, and then up the hill from me on the other side. And then like I have my brother that lives right next to me. Now, if anything happens with my brother, regardless, I'm grabbing my fucking shotgun or I'm grabbing one of my pistols and I'm running out there because it's my little brother. And I love my little brother just as much as I love my cousin Roadkill. So it's like, nobody fucks with my little brother. Like I have my tiny house parked right next to his trailer. He's got his 4 kids, and they're all hitting teenhood. One's like 15, and then the others are like about to be teenagers, whatever. And then his wife, but like the way I look at it, like I give my life for them.
Yeah.
Like if
So
it
your roots
really
are
came
really
down
in with
to it,
your people.
yeah, like nobody's gonna fuck with my little brother and his family. And then like if some shit happened at the neighbor's house and they needed help and somebody came and said something was happening and they needed help and the cops were coming but the cops couldn't make it there, fuck yeah, I'd run over there with my shotgun. You know what I mean? I'd run over there with my pistol out. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah, nobody's gonna fuck with anybody on that road. And then me and my brother, I can't really say that I'm traditional. I don't do sweats and ceremonies anymore. I don't go to sun dances. I don't really partake in the whole spiritual aspect. But like, if anything ever happened on this road, I'm backing up. I'm backing up my neighbors just because.
Well, yeah. A good sense of like community. So the more okay, so do you see a lot of people living the gutter punk lifestyle long term, or is that more like a
I
intermittent
mean,
thing?
like, I guess it depends. Like I've met some long term punks like Papa Sean, rest in peace, Papa Sean out of NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana. Uh, when when I met him, he had already been gutter punking since like the fucking late '80s, and that he rapped under the handle Necro. He used to rap with ICP back in the day, and then he started the gutter punk lifestyle for himself, and he still wore ICP shit. It's just he lived in the gutters, so he ran with a lot of punks, but gutter punks and juggalos have always had that nature where it's like they didn't get along. And before I was a gutter punk, I was a clown. I used to run. I used to wear jerseys, Hatchet Man necklaces, T-shirts, fucking underwear, socks, shoes. I used to have a necklace hanging off my neck. I used to wear it hanging off my belt loop. I fucking
Would
had
you
a
say
belt.
that
I
the
had a
juggalo
buckle.
community is safer than the gutter punking community, or would you say they're about the same in terms of like?
Fuck no. Hell no, man. It's dangerous as hell. To be a juggalo or to be a gutter punk, it's all dangerous because they're both very reckless fucking lifestyles. They're very reckless lifestyles. Like when you're punking or you're clowning, like it's like a take no shit lifestyle. Like the moniker of your life is literally like I don't give a fuck if I die. Like we can fucking fight. And then a lot of times, sadly, that's the end for most travelers. They have that cocky attitude because you have to grit your teeth. You have to have, oh, I'm that tough motherfucker. Don't fuck with me because you're on the street. You're
Yeah,
homeless. You know what I mean? It's not like you can go get behind a locked door and be like, ha ha. You know what I mean? It don't work like that. Like you're in a cold sleeping bag with a warm 40 ounce.
Yeah. And then, like you said earlier, there's people going missing. There's the vampires like literally draining people their blood, taking organs. You had said something about losing one of your organs. Did that happen in Nevada?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if ruptured or if something got taken, but like there's no scar there. But I am missing like my pancreas.
Wow.
So my poor liver and kidneys just work double time. But like I've really changed my lifestyle. Like usually me and my little brother, we try to go hunt every day or every other day. And then like we usually cut wood. I've got a follow King Kilo to Mac on TikTok.
All right. Yeah.
Um, I got a video where we're doing a ground oven where I actually had to dig the ashes up and then open up the ground, and then I had a fire going, and then I put some coals in and made a coal bed, and then I put a game hen and a duck, wrapped them up in a tinfoil, and I stuck them on the coals, and then we buried it in coals, and then we got the fire going right next to it, kind of burning like almost on top of it, but not on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we left it in the ground for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then I dug them up. And oh my god, like we eat good every day though. Me and my little brother, we're always hunting. That's one of the good things about being native on the res. And then like when you're with the traditional community, you have more rights. Like like normally you're not supposed to have this or this.
Yeah.
That's a hawk feather. That's the eagle feather. But because we're from a traditional background and our adopted dad's a fucking medicine man, like known, acclaimed, like people know him far and wide from all over the U.S. and Canada. Like he's very well known for his ceremonies and he's strong. So like we have that right. And then when I was 20, I'm not supposed to talk about it, but when I was 20, I hung off a Sundance tree pierced by the skin of my back for 4 days. And I earned the right to wear war paint, and I wore the right to wear eagle feathers. I can go to powwow. I can go to any powwow. I can wear the face paint. I can wear eagle feathers. Nobody can say nothing to me about it because I earned it, and I didn't earn it from another human being. I did it before God. I did it before the Great Spirit and the ancestor spirits and everybody that was at that Sundance in 2010. But it's the look for me. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm a pimp now. I'm a
Yeah.
pimp now. This a Native American pimp needs to have a certain signature look to be a Native American pimp. So I have this look, but in a sense, like I got a whole getup I'm gonna come up with. Like I'm gonna wear a vest, but it's gonna be a buffalo hide vest with buffalo fur.
Yeah. I liked your
You
blue
know?
suede your blue suede suit when you were in Vegas. I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Blue
yeah. You're
suede.
gonna see quite a few of my outfits on my TikTok. I got a few of my outfits on there. I don't know. I lost my mom and my fiance 5 months ago, and all I did was fucking drink for 5 months, and then it's hard, but I had to quit. Today's day 13. Day 13
Hey,
today.
congratulations.
I spit up blood 14 days ago and had no choice but to quit. So
So your current
I figured,
dream, an unconventional dream, would be you are transitioning into your Native American like pimp era now with your
yeah,
buffalo vest.
yeah,
Let's
hell
go.
yeah, yeah, hell yeah, PIMP. Like check this out.
Hey, I love that. Wow. Let's go. So as
And
like
then it's all hand carved. It's all hand carved. None of this is machine. This is all hand carved. Everything all down to the details of the beak and the head. It's all hand carved. I got to get it repainted, but yeah, that's my signature native tip cane. I got another regular cane that's just blue and I bought it at Walmart, but that's just I didn't have this bad boy yet. I got a I got a couple of my ties hanging up. Then I got my bow ties. I got two velvet ones. I got a blue velvet and a red velvet. And a couple flowers. I was supposed to do I was supposed to do laundry this month, but I just I didn't do it again. I
Well, yeah,
fucking supposed
like
to.
I'd heard a little bit of like walk me through what happened today. By the way, today you got
Ah,
into a
fucking
little.
some fuck shit I don't want to talk
Oh,
about.
you're good then. My bad. I was just like, what in the world? So I'm so glad that you're
Yeah, it was
home and that everything's all gravy, everything's all good now. And please don't let that lady come back. That was I like I said, I don't know if she deleted messages, but I recorded everything because I was like, this is
oh,
nuts.
I saw,
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful that you got back to me so fast because I was like, oh my goodness. So
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
so what's next now? What are you working on now? I know you said you were gonna build up your social presence. Um, is
Yeah,
it
King Kilo the Mac.
and so you're staying in North Dakota now? Is there no more travel for you or
Yeah, no, this is it. Unless I happen to get chose again. I already got chose twice. I got chose by two beautiful ladies down in Las Vegas at the strip club. I don't work them though. They both have kids, so I'm kind of like a trigger pimp to them. You know, what I mean, daddy's there when they need you. I gave
okay?
them each a check for 10,000.
Nice, nice. So what is the so you're gonna be staying like unless you're chosen to what go back out to Vegas?
Um, nah, the goal, what time it is, what the time is, what the goal is I want to become a traveling international pimp.
Nice.
So right now I'm waiting on some money from my mom. I get my mom's money. I'm going to get a passport made, and I'm going to move to Asia.
Asia, which part of Asia? Where
And
you going first?
I want to go to China.
China. Nice,
Are you
nice.
familiar with Are you familiar with Bao Bao?
The babao with the honey bun guy?
No, Bao Bao. Remember the Chinese chick that cooks? You never seen her videos on Facebook?
Oh, I watched this traveler from Asia. He it's a his name's Sue like cooking with Sue, I think, or something like that. And he goes around all over Asia and he does a lot of cooking stuff. I
No,
don't know
this
about
is a
him.
girl. This is just a girl that lives in China. She's like 25 or 26, something like that. And then she just posts videos like she wakes up, she'll roll out of bed, and she'll video, and then her shower, clean up, go on, and cook, drink milk, and then she'll say, "Okay, eat." You go ahead and do the dishes. And she'll that's like her thing. She tells them and tells all the men, "You do dishes, eat," and then she's always go ahead and dishes. And she's always in she lives in Shanghai, and then Yalai. I talked to her. I'm supposed to see Yalai. I talked to her. I'm supposed to meet her, and then there's a girl on Facebook, artist, like now wants to out here there's a girl that she does anime art like she's the same at Beijing art. She does she does how would you say
Like
like Dragon Ball
holistic
Z
stuff.
and
Oh, like Tai Chi and stuff.
yeah, like Dragon Ball Z, like Sailor Moon and Pokemon. But she's really fucking gifted. Like the way she paints, like that girl's a badass. Like she's and then she sells it to support her and her mom. Follow Wawa Celio on Facebook, and then the digital the digital cooking girl. Uh, this she's screaming bow bow, or she's saying bow 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 bow, or something of that sort. You know damn well that's the one I'm talking about. They're both fucking super cute.
Yeah.
Wawa is actually she's deaf, so she can't hear, and then she can talk, but like if you've heard somebody deaf talk, you
Yeah.
already know. But
Yeah, it's a little
yeah,
different. I know
hey,
big
they're
things are
people
coming
too,
up
though.
here on the DAPT channel. I know this weekend I'm hosting a gaming tournament on the 23rd, and then on the 29th I'm doing an IRL stream. I'm going to an anime and art expo, and we're going to be touring there and talking to different artists there. That will be on the 29th, which is a Friday. As well as this fall, we have my affiliate anniversary where we're playing a giant game of Family Feud. Who knows me better? So we got a lot of different things coming up, and I super appreciate the chief here for explaining his life experience and where he's gone from to what he's accomplishing now. Definitely gonna follow his presences on those different social medias. And is there?
Scoops, download Scoops.
All right, yeah. And is there anything
S
that you
C
would want
O
to
O P
leave
S.
us? CO Coops. PS. Is there anything that you would like to leave us with? Um,
Live life like a chess game. Live life like a chess game. Always think about what you're gonna do. Every single move, like it's vital, like it's a game of chess, because everything you do in life is vital to what it is. The world perceives you as you present yourself. Now, when I was a gutter punk, a lot of people helped me out, but that's because I had to look. I was a gutter punk. I was dirty. People looked at me because I smelled funny. I didn't dress nice. And I didn't wear rocks on my hands. I wasn't wearing, studded out bow ties and studded out shirts. I wasn't wearing suits and ties. I wasn't living the life I am now. Now, now I'm wearing, you know, limited edition, limited edition colognes.
yeah,
Yeah, I
completely
got my
different.
other colognes, but those are just for, every day. These are for like special shit.
Yeah,
Um, I'm perceived the way I want to be perceived. So like when people see me out in public, I'm looked at like a fucking pimp. You know what I mean? People look at me like I'm a pimp daddy Mac. So like if you want to be perceived a certain way in this world, you have to dress the way you want to be perceived. If you want to be perceived as a businessman, you better go get yourself a suit and tie. And it better be a three-piece suit. You better have a vest and a jacket to go with that nice shirt and that tie that you're wearing and them slacks. You better get yourself some damn nice shoes. Better get yourself some damn nice shoes. You better dress with style. You better look good. Be ready to make a difference and show people, because if you don't perceive yourself in a positive light, it's not going to be anything. It's not going to be good. You have to be there to where you stand out. And with
yeah.
that being said, King Kilo the Mac on TikTok,
King Kilo the Mac on
Kilo,
TikTok.
King Kilo, Kilo. It's like on my neck, Kilo. Kilo, like a kilo of coke or a kilo of weed. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Um, and then if you want to continue talking to me, that's cool. You turned out to be a pretty cool person.
Yeah, no, I super appreciate all the time and stuff, and I would love to like continue like, especially as you progress into what you're doing. I know everything's been doing. Yeah, it is almost 1 o'clock for me. It is very late.
Yeah, it's 11:39 for me. All
Yeah.
right, thank you. You have a
So
good night.
you too, and thank you so much. All right, peace out. All right. All right, folks. Let this has been an amazing interview. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. I think we've learned quite a bit and so much. And I cannot wait until the next time. We're going to be pulling out all sorts of different ideas moving forward. Big shout out to Astro for the raid and Under the Big Top for always hanging out. King CK the God. Um, Thank you all so much, and shout out to Dory for doing that original interview with us this earlier this evening. And I will see you guys on the flip side.